Welcome to the third installment of West Liberty University Wrestling Mat Minute. This is episode 3 with head coach Mitch Smith. Coach, since our last episode, can you update the fans and alumni about the program's past events?
Yeah, so we've been busy in the past month of November. So we first started out with UPJ, who was ranked 5th in the country at the time. We had a couple good wins that night. Just couldn't put a string of wins together. But we wrestled pretty well. We came away with a couple victories that night and wrestled pretty well. Our program has really gotten better since that event. That was our first event of the season, so we've really progressed in the right direction. Our next event was at Case Western, open in Ohio, which we had 8 place winners and 3 finalists at that event. Corey Seacrest, a freshman at 125, ended up winning the tournament. And then we had Darius Bunch, our 133-pounder, and Chase Morgan, our 174-pounder, finished runner-up. And then we also had other guys placed within that tournament. So we had a pretty good weekend that weekend. We wrestled pretty well, bouncing back from a duel with UPJ. So I was pleased with that weekend. And then the following weekend, we went to Findlay, Ohio, and wrestled in that open, which was our deepest tournament we've been to so far. A lot of top D2 teams in the country were at that event. So our guys wrestled pretty well. Came away with a few good wins that weekend. We had 1 place winner. We had Darius Bunch make it to the semis, then lost in the semis, and we medical defaulted him out of the tournament for 3rd and 4th, so he didn't wrestle that match. But we had a lot of guys very close to placing at that tournament. We're a match away. We gained a lot of experience. We have a very young team, so we were moving in the right direction in that open tournament as well. And then that took us into Thanksgiving break. Once we returned from Thanksgiving break, we had Wheeling Jesuit here at home, which was a blackout night, and went over pretty well. We had a very good crowd on hand, which we were able to give out 50 free black t-shirts to the first 50 students that were in attendance. So that went over pretty well for the students that were here on campus that were able to make the event. They got a free West Liberty Wrestling t-shirt. And then the event itself went pretty well. I feel like our guys scrapped and wrestled pretty hard. There were some matches I felt like, we could have came away with a W. We had a few key wins in that duel. Darius Bunch was able to beat the number 2 ranked kid in the country that night in overtime. So that was a huge win for our program and for him as an individual, moving up in the national and regional rankings. And then at 149, Tanner Sutton also got a key win. He beat a kid who was ranked 2nd in our region right now at 149. He also won in overtime as well. So we had 2 key victories, and then Corey Seacrest was able to get a forfeit that night. They didn't have a 125-pounder. And then a couple other close matches at 165 and 174 with Josh Cornell and Chase Morgan. Josh losing 6-4 and Chance Morgan losing 10-5 in that match. So we were right in those matches, and that would have really swung the momentum more in our way. But it was a very good, event, very well publicized. So I was happy with the way our guys wrestled. We didn't get the W at the end of the day, but our guys definitely progressed in the right direction since our first dual meet of the year. Then this past weekend, we went to Washington Jefferson College, and we were in 3 duels that day. We came away with 3 dual meet wins. We had a lot of guys go 3-0 that day. So we're starting to, head in the right direction as a program, having a young team. These guys are buying into the system, and, the results are paying off.
Okay, good. And what are the next couple competitions and events that the team has coming up?
So actually tomorrow night, we turn around and wrestle Ashland University, who is ranked 10th in the country right now. I'm pretty excited about this duel. It's always a good environment to wrestle at Ashland. We got them back on our schedule, and we always like going up there and wrestling them, and they came here last year. Matchup-wise, I feel like, we match up pretty well against them. I know they're a 10th ranked team in the country, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow night and see how our program progresses tomorrow night. And then once we get through that duel, we will compete in the Midwest Classic in Indianapolis. This tournament, I call it's pretty much, the Southern Scuffle or the Midlands of D2. This is a great tournament for our guys to, figure out where they're at in the country. This is pretty much a mini national tournament. With our guys, I tell them if you're able to place at the Midwest Classic, you're able to be on the podium at the end of the year. So we're looking forward to putting our 10 starters in that tournament and see how they do, and looking forward to, to give them a good indication of where they're at the end of the first semester as well.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.